Oh, good evening, welcome. My name is Kwabena. Welcome. I want to share with you today what I call from an idea to a product and to a business. An idea to a product and to a business. A quick one, a brief one. All over the world, the young people, the youth, they are a lot of them are occupied with ideas. Ideas about business, technology, product. People are thinking. People are always looking at how to better the existing ways of doing things, how to better products, how to better processes. They are occupied with that. They are doing a lot of research, a lot of studies. They are challenging the old ideas. They are questioning a lot of things. It appears that is what has occupied them for a while. That's why they're still dominating. Now, on the other hand, the people that they call the third world, the developing countries, they are not occupied that much with the things that will challenge what they came to meet. As a matter of fact, a lot of them are occupied with keeping the tradition as it is. We are occupied with keeping what our ancestors gave us. We are occupied with keeping the methodology, how we cook. We are occupied with that. How we dress, we don't want to touch it. How we do anything, we call it culture. And I think we have carried that into every aspect of our lives. So when you even start business, you are coming from that background where change is slow. And a lot of people have confidence in their traditions than in coming up with solutions and better ways of doing things, better products, which can make a lot of people become at least successful and for the society to move forward. If you look around the globe now, those who are driving technology, they are the ones successful. They are the ones that everybody is running to. And those who are keeping the traditions, the status quo, how we came to meet it, we are the ones being beaten. And so how do you move from an idea to a product and possibly to a business? You have to develop that thinking. You have to develop that person within you that believes that everything can be questioned and everything can be better. You have to have that philosophy. We don't have to destroy everything, but there is always a better way of doing something. There is always a better way of coming out to solve a problem. There is always a product somewhere that you can question how it has to be done differently. Every business that you see was an idea, somebody's idea. It was in their head. Somebody's way of questioning an existing thing. They question it and they said, oh, okay, maybe this one can be done differently. And once it can be done differently, then it means that I may have to even do something and serve my customers, a better way. Because until you are questioning, you will not have idea. Until you're asking yourself questions, until you look around the environment, until you look around how things are done, until you look around how people dress, how people think, how people walk, how people read, how people analyze issues, until you look around why people are dying, until you look around what better way can we develop the health system, what better way can we get water to our people, what better way can we get proper food to our people. All of us are asking questions. Where are the better ways of doing things? Until we start to do that, we cannot get the right ideas and the right way of looking at issues. And so there is a way you have to develop whichever ideas that come to your mind. But if you're traditional in thinking, you will not be able to ask questions. And I dare say that the way we've been trained here on our continent, ideas generation, because you cannot so far develop a lot of ideas outside the environment that you grew up in. As a matter of fact, If you have never seen it before, it becomes quite a bit, challenging. If you live in an environment where everything is done as it is, nothing is questioned, nothing is moved, nothing is looked at well. If you live there, no matter which kind of education they gave you, the way you question things are slow. And so that's why you see a lot of our business people, we just copy. And it's not because we are not intelligent, no. It's because of our inability to question. How we were trained not to question, not to ask, not to challenge. And if you are coming from a background where you've been told not to question, not to challenge, you cannot generate ideas. And if a country, if a culture, if a people, if a town, if a family, if an institution is like that, that institution will be overcome by the others who are questioning, because you're questioning the methodology. And once you start to question the methodology, you are getting new ideas. So how do you move from the idea? The idea generation is so critical. And you have to be a person who is inquisitive, who is curious, who's asking, who's always asking. And the mind is said that until you feed the mind with a lot of relevant information, the mind cannot ask anything that is relevant to solving problems. So if you are the one on radio, Peace FM discussing all the politics, the way we do it in our country in the morning from 7 or so to 10 o'clock is all jam politics. Every radio station almost is politics, and it's the same thing that we are all discussing. That is about 4 hours. And then from maybe 11, 12, we play some music and discuss some live issues. Then in the afternoon, 12 o'clock, there's news. Then from 12 to 2, they create some stories and people will phone in. Then there is some sponsor somewhere. The latter part of the evening, they say few class or something like that. Noise, and music. Then it gets to the evening, it's all party and music and news. And then latter part, a lot of the radio stations have other political discussions. Now, if this is the kind of environment that we have created for ourselves, at least the kind of environment that the country has created for ourselves, if you want to develop ideas and move to the product, you have to carve a new environment for yourself, because what you're feeding yourself with, the environment that you're feeding yourself with, that environment is responsible for the ideas that you're generating. So if it's all noisy, there's no way you're going to have any clear business idea that can improve an existing product, or that can even bring some kind of a new product, and possibly for you to move that product into some sort of a business. So you can see that all the ideas, all the businesses that we see around are just businesses that we just copy. It is the same thing. We just go and bring this and do this, go and bring this. Even in terms of retail, there's not much activities, there's not much novelties, there's not much thinking going on to serve customers well. Why? Because we are not generating ideas. So don't deceive yourself. We have an environmental challenge in terms of ideas, the way we generate ideas. We have an environmental challenge. So you have to create an environment for yourself where you can generate new ideas. And one of the things that you have to, because until you have a lot of information, until you have a lot of exposure, until you have a lot of things that you can ask questions on, you cannot generate proper ideas that can solve problems. That's why I said it. If you go to the village, okay, they all know that they need proper toilet system. They know it. But how? They are not questioning. We've been doing this thing, we've been fetching this water with this bucket for how many years? Can we maybe do it a different way? Why? Because you are hooked on to the tradition. And we are hooked on to tradition because that's what we came to meet. And until you have a better knowledge, until the infiltration, the inflow of knowledge is more than what we came to meet, we cannot bring a change. We will keep the status quo, we will keep the tradition, we will dance around it, and we will party. And all the rest of the world will be going, our people will still be drumming and dancing. And we will still be wallowing in poverty. And we will still be running to China And the sad thing is that the problem is not so much with the people we didn't send to school. The problem is with the ones that we have sent to school who cannot generate new ideas. Why? Because when you went to school, the lecturer taught you the same old notes that he himself was taught with. So you have to, after all these things that you call school, that's why you meet some of these graduates, no ideas. You give them assignment, they cannot think because the training is weak. Every one of us may have something that we can develop to become an expert in. Usually, the way you generate ideas are from the kind of things that you have spent some kind of time accumulating some kind of expertise. So some people can have expertise in some technical areas. For instance, if you're a surgeon, that is what you're using your time to do. That's what you had training in. It's likely that a lot of the ideas that you will get will come from those areas. For instance, if you're a lawyer, it's a technical field. A lot of the innovations, a lot of the ideas that you can change are those areas that can come to you. Somebody is maybe a building engineer, somebody is maybe an automobile engineer. The area that you have some technical expertise in, it's likely that is the area that you can have a lot of ideas generated. And from that area, you may be able to maybe come out with a product. So you don't have to stretch yourself. Very few people can move out of an area that they have spent a lot of time in and move into a whole new area that they have no expertise in and be able to generate original ideas. Or be able to change some things in those areas. It happens, but it's not normally the common thing. So the very things that you're spending your time on, the things that you're getting expertise in, those are the areas that you're going to get new ideas. And so if you're looking for a business idea, for instance, and let's say you cook, don't be trying to look for business idea in medicine or in pharmaceutical, because it's likely that almost all your life, that's where you're spending your time. And the things that you're giving attention to, those are the things that your mind is processing. So the ideas that will come are likely to come from those areas, So if you meet a footballer, for instance, or a coach, most of the time his thinking is what? Is processing. I'm not a coach. So if I watch football, I'm just watching it for fun. I'm not trying to get a lot of new ideas to go and invest or to come out with. No, I'm not. It's usually the people who have better and quality or add up ideas are people who are spending a lot of things. So the things that you are giving attention to, the things that you have had some kind of training, the things that you have developed yourself in, those are the things that you are going to get at least a lot of ideas from. And so a lot of people have this kind of technical exposure. Whatever that you do that that another person cannot easily come to that field and do because you have had some training, some kind of professional training, hands-on kind of things. Those are the areas that you look for the ideas. Some people keep on changing. They try a lot of things. That's why they don't seem to master anything. Some people are changing jobs from across board. In a year, they change jobs like 10. You don't master anything like that. And that's why you may not have ideas from that. Whatever you're spending your time on is likely those are the areas that you're going to get a lot of ideas in. Some people may not have so much technical expertise, but they are very good managers. They are good with management. Management itself is also an expertise. Some people may not be able to let's say repair a computer or build a telephone or something that needs a lot of special understanding. They may not, but they may be able to manage the flow, the people, the logistics, the money. They may be able to build milestones, to follow the timelines and to deliver the project on time. That kind of expertise you can also look, because you can always look at the flow and see where you can also turn something and make it an idea that you can build a business on. Some people have built big services just because they saw something that they could do better than the others. So wherever you can get an idea is where you have had some kind of expertise. So there are a lot of people, like the way they are saying that, so they are sacking some bank people. I was discussing with Kudus that he's talking about bank people. The fact is that if you spend 20 years in a bank and you're a manager, you at least some money, you have had some managerial skills. You've had some expertise in terms of the bank industry. Those are the places that you leverage on. What can you see that was frustrating the customers that you complained so much about your superiors were not ready to do? What business can you build out of that? Can you pick it as an idea and develop it as a process or as a product, and possibly start to infrastructure it with business, start to build a business infrastructure it. The next time you see it is own it, because there are a lot of support businesses that they give to the banks. Which ones were you not comfortable, or which ones were you complaining about? Now that they say that go home, it's not the end of the world. No. If somebody made a mistake and then the bank has collapsed, yes, it's this world, a lot of things happen, and you just have to take it like it's this world. Evil happens. And sometimes you may not be the person who caused the evil. You may never have done anything wrong, but it just happens. And if it happens like that, it does not mean you don't have anything. You just need a rest. You sit back and say, okay, now this is the situation, but what do I have? What ideas can you generate? You may not be a carpenter. You may not be a mason. You may not be a heart surgeon. You may not be a very good salesperson. You may not be an author, but you may be a good manager. You know that if anything they give to you for you to manage, you can do it fantastically. What is it that you can do? Start to put ideas down. Put some ideas. I'm a good manager. What can I manage? Then you start. What can I do differently from what I see existing? Because everybody can do something. And that's why you pick an idea to a product. And because the idea is not a business. And sometimes even a product is not a business. Because a lot of people are hooked up to that. They have an idea, they want to hide it from a lot of people because they think that the idea is a business. The idea is not a business. You need a lot of things to push that idea into a product. And even if you have a product, that's not mean you have a business. For you to build a business is a whole different thing. But at least it's a good starting point. So nobody does not have anything. Everybody has something that they can develop an idea from. Everybody. Even the guy who is at the dummy drinking and smoking is an expert in something. At least he knows how to taste the different drinks. He can build a business out of that. Maybe he knows how to pick the right cigarette. He can build something out of that. Everybody is an expert at something. So the thing is that what ideas come from that which you have an expertise in. What ideas and what product, what process can you develop out of that? And from there, are you ready to pick it to the next level to build a business out of it? So everybody knows something. Some people's skill may not be technical. Some people's skills may not even be managers. Some people's skills may just be leadership. They're able to generate, they're able to think afar. They're able to pull people together. They're able to take risk. They're able to take the blame. They're able to take pressure. They're able to take risk. Somebody has that. He may not have any technical skill. Most top companies that you see, most of them were built by people who just had that. Very few people have these three in common. He has the technical expertise, he has the managerial, and he has the leadership. It doesn't. A lot of people, especially the people they call entrepreneurs, the startups, a lot of them did not have that much technical experience. They just had a little and they just jumped. Because they had the courage. They could connect and convince people. They could see the future and they could move, and they were ready to take the pain and struggle. That is also an expertise. That is an expertise. So somebody may have maybe an idea to build maybe to produce a ring. And he has the expertise to do that. Somebody can manage the flow. Somebody must take the risk, and that's where the leadership comes in. So everywhere you see an enterprise, there was somebody who was crazy enough to take the risk. And so the idea is what the business, you need an idea to start a business. And then you have to build that idea into a product. Building into a product is a whole different thing. And product development is something you can also study. Some people may not produce the product. Some people may only go and get somebody else's product and start to build a business out of it. Somebody else may also have the idea of the product, they can do a sketch, and probably they get another person to produce it, and maybe they will be able to build a business out of that. So it is your decision to know which area you're good at and which area you can pick an idea into a product and into a business. If it comes to building a business, then you have to look at what it takes to build a business. You will have to provide the leadership. It is needed. Somebody must be ready to have the stamina, because it's going to take a lot of mistakes. It's going to take a lot of errors. It's going to take a lot of losses, a lot of disagreement, a lot of pain. Somebody must provide that. And then you must have some kind of financial expertise. You must have the ability to control and to lead and to manage people. These are all things. I'm not talking of you just saying I'm going to do something for salary. No, that's not what I'm talking of. Maybe that could be a good motivation for you, but that's not what I'm talking of. I'm talking of somebody with a vision to say that I want to build a company, I want to build a business, and hopefully I may end up employing one person, even if it is myself, and I may have the expertise to build the infrastructure around it. That is a whole different ballgame. It's a business you want to build. So there are a lot of things involved in building a business. It's not just I know how to produce chinchiga. Somebody can build chinchiga. What do you think McDonald's and those things are doing? What do you think? so like chinchiga, but somebody has an infrastructure, and that is the business. So it calls for skill, and it calls for a whole different way of thinking, a whole different way of looking at issues, and a whole different personality that you have to become. You cannot just think like an employee and develop a business. It's a different thing. The way an employee will think is that at the end of the month, somebody must pay me, and for me to go and take care of my family. Even if I don't put anything in, they have to still pay me. Now, if you start the business, or if you develop the idea to product into a business, you cannot wait for somebody to come and pay you. Nobody will come and pay you. So as a matter of fact, the people you employ, they'll be looking up to you. So you have taken more than just being employed. And it's not only the bad side. Of course, when there is benefit, you also eventually will benefit more than the others who didn't take the same risk as you. So my name is Obindako. I am talking about move the idea to a product and possibly to a business. Don't just be talking about the idea and be writing all the business plan and be every day you're editing it. It has been on your computer for the last 10 years. You're always discussing it and asking a lot of questions from people. Business is about doing. It's not perfect. You don't have to be perfect to start. You just need to start. You just need to start. So if you have discussed it with people and they have said that is a good idea for you, and they still continue to discuss it every day, you have not developed the courage to start that business. So business is about doing. Entrepreneurship is about doing. It's not just about talking, and write. Every idea. Some people, you can meet some people, they have 20,000 ideas of how to do a business, or they have 10, 20 business ideas. They are always generating business ideas. No. After a while, you have to at least have something to prove that you tried this, even if it didn't work. Even if it didn't work, you tried it. The other day, I was counting the number of companies that I saw. That didn't work. There are a lot like that. There are a lot, because not every one of them will work, and not every one of them will make money, and you will lose a lot. So it's business. Hopefully, you'll be alive to make the profit, and so understand that. So it's not just talking about the idea, because everybody gets idea. If you don't know, that idea that you have is not original. Any idea that you have, I think that at a point that you have any idea that hits you, a lot of people get the same idea just about the same time. Just a wave that is moving. As whoever, based on your preparation and what you see, what gets your attention, the idea will drop to you. Everybody gets some kind of idea anyway. So the idea, uh, at least the one that we see around, opening a beer bar, opening a provision shop, or watch a joint, or Indomie, or MTN, or going to start a orange farm or pawpaw farm, all those ideas, or starting a building, selling, building material. Those are the things that are common in the environment. None of us here is thinking of building a company that is going to space or going to the Mars. Those are not the things that so we are not generating those kind of ideas. Even if they come to you, we may not be ready to do that. So at least the idea based on our environment, our exposure, a lot of people are getting that. So that's not the main problem. The problem is that how do you move? How do you start something with that idea? It came to your mind that you could sew this kind of style, you could develop this kind of t-shirt, you could develop this kind of better way of serving in a restaurant. You came up with a plan to build maybe a construction, or you want to build affordable houses. You have your own methodology, you have your own procedures, you have done a lot of research. That's something about the technocrats. They will do a lot of research. They will go and do consult. They will go to China. They will go to India. They will go everywhere. They will come with a big document. They would never start. They would never start because they are risk averse. From the idea to the product, it's still subsistent. It's still you. There's not much complication. It's still not business. Some people can have a product, even maybe they may be producing it, but it's still not a business. A lot of these manufacturing food processing companies are really, the people that we call food processing companies, and a lot of the things that we do in our country are really product business now. They are not really into where they have built business infrastructure, because the man is still involved himself. He does everything like that. Ordinarily, we call those businesses, but there is a lot to be done for them to become maybe a business. So the idea is okay. You probably may have produced something to show. It's also okay. Then you have to take the boldness and train yourself and become the person who can build a business. But it can be done. You just have to have the proper understanding that at this stage, this is where I am. You have to know, I'm at the idea stage, or I'm at the product stage, or I'm at the business stage. It's you. You have to know. Nobody can really push you that much. It's you. And almost all of us, at a point had all kind of ideas. At a point, I could generate a lot of ideas. All the ideas that we generated, very few became businesses because we're just talking ideas. So maybe it's a practice. So sometimes when somebody is talking about business, I'm interested. I want to hear, because I think it's a good process. But if they have talked of it for 10 years, they can't do it. They are just talking. So, when you meet them, so what is the new business? They are always Ghanaians, as we are. We are always engaged. We want to know what somebody is doing. I've even been thinking of starting a company. I want to join you guys. Those are all ideas that they are talking about. Step out. Take courage. Understand that it could go against you. It could be tough. It could be difficult. You could lose everything. But that's the part. There's no other part. If you compromise the part, that's what is happening in Ghana now. A lot of people who compromise the processes have been sent back to go and learn. So that's how it is. So you study and you work on the ideas, and hopefully you'll be able to move to the next gear of the development. So it's a development actually. So whatever ideas that you're having, write them down. But the ideas themselves are not strong enough to build a business. You have to test them. You have to model them. You have to develop into a product. Look around you. If you go to some of these Asian countries, they are always coming up with all kind of. They don't even have to be your original idea. You just see something that is happening, and just do something little. So your idea anyway. Nobody came with any original idea. All of us are copying. So there is not so much it is my idea. Even the patent ones, there is forget. Every idea is built on another. Nobody had any idea from anywhere which is original. It's a build up. After all, somebody told them how to read, how to write. They were not born reading, writing, speaking. And so it's a build up. Every idea that you see is a build up of something that existed. Or the scientific laws, somebody identified that's why we could build an engineering process, an engineering product with it. So it's not so much original entirely. And so don't worry so much about coming up with something so unique that nobody has seen. You see some people, you meet them, say, this one, nobody knows it. It's only God gave it to me. That's not it. The thing is that can you produce a product with it? And if you have produced a product with it, can you build a business infrastructure around it that can be profitable? Can you monetize? Can you commercialize their idea? Do you have what it takes to commercialize that idea? That is what is important. That product, can you commercialize it? Because the idea, by all means, must be in a form of product to benefit the customer. Or it's just an idea in your head. You must produce, you must let the idea be something that people are ready to pay for. And when people are ready to pay for it, can you build it as a business? Can you go through the processes? Can you go through it? Or when you go and you try and you meet challenges, you say that no. So look at what you have an expertise in. If you're a technical person, know that, okay, I'm a technical person. But the business will need something more than technical person. The business will need the technicals, no problem. The business will also need the managers. And the business will also need the leaders as well. So which one do you have? If you're a leader, you will need the technical guys to come in to help you. If you are a leader, you will need managers in between. And maybe if you're a manager, you will know that, okay, maybe I don't have the technical expertise. Somebody else has it. I may not be that much strong will to take the heat and the turbulences that come. But I know somebody who can take that. So maybe we partner. That's how you build it into a business. But most people think that because they like, for instance, if you meet people who can let's say the most popular business now in Ghana maybe is a bread, so the people who are selling bread somewhere, they say I want to go and learn bread making, and then I'll be able to build something like the way the guys are building bread businesses. The fact that you know bread production means that you may have a technical skill there. But somebody must provide the leadership. Somebody may have to manage the processes. So you have to look at what you have and what else you don't have. Whether you get employees to help you or you get partners, business partners. They say it doesn't work, but it works. You just have to be extra mature. It works, and you have to be just extra patient and hopeful. It works. But if you are that much in haste and if you're that much unforgiving, then you cannot work with partners. So you have to know your expertise. Then you can pick the idea into a product and into a business. Because the idea that you generated, maybe you generated an idea that you may not have all the technicalities to make it a product. But somebody else has that technical understanding. So how do you get that person to make that idea a reality? And when that technical person has worked, that technical person may not necessarily have the ability to build a business around it. He may just be a technical person. He may not even, if you look at a lot of engineers, they don't like business. They just want to do something and be paid, and they're very happy with their pay. So if you tell them that, listen, let's go and build a business, no. They say, I'm not ready, where my age is. So you have to know what you have and what other people have and how you can put them together. So that's how you move the idea into a product and into a business. You have to know what you have. You don't have to know everything. You just have to know, this is what I know. Somebody else knows this. How do I connect it? How do I connect all this? Other than that, the idea will die with you. or the product will die with you. Whatever that you know, you need connections. People have what? Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's somebody you don't even know, somebody you can connect online, somebody you can connect from the job place, somebody you can connect from church, somebody you can connect from maybe the sports stadium or the party or the club, wherever that you meet people. Because you have identified, or because you know what you have, and because you know what you can produce and who you are looking for, you start to search. In that way, you may be able to have that idea that you have been, pondering over for years, move from that stage into a product. And possibly, if you get somebody who understands how to move a product into a business, then the idea would have moved from there. But if you have all this as an individual, fantastic. Then you are at least you have a very good opportunity to move all your life like that, from the product, from the idea to the product and to the business. That, the way I see it, very few people have that. Very few, very few, very few. Especially if they are creating the product themselves. Very few people can do can generate the ideas, can polish it into a product that businesses or customers are ready to pay, and they will be able to move the same product into the marketplace and build proper business around it. So just know, in our country, we have tried to do everything all, but one man show is everywhere. We are just one man people with everything. So that's why we have little, small things. We are not doing a lot because we have to have everything in one man store. Everything is involved. That's not how you are able. That's why most people are not able to move their ideas. For instance, if you have an idea to write a book, you have an idea to write a book, but somebody else has an idea. Somebody else can pick the idea and develop that concept. He may not have that kind of concept that you have, but he has a good writing skill. Maybe. Or somebody else may also pick the draft and just produce the book the next day. And yet, the idea has been in your head for how many years? For 20 years. And you are struggling to produce it because you want to do everything alone. And it doesn't work like that. And they told you that you can't work with people. If you can't work with people, there's little you can do. Because people will disappoint you, people will lie, people will cheat, people will do all kind of things. But the same people can bring you multiplication. The same people can bring you laughter, progress, profit, growth, expansion. So you have to know, it's a thinking. So if you don't want to move the idea, and you just want to be happy and say that when I was a young man, I was generating a lot of ideas, all these things came to my head, I was discussing it with my friends, no problem. If that is your joy, no problem. But if you want to see that idea come into a reality, maybe into a product, and possibly into a business, there are a lot of things that you have to understand. You have to understand what you know, what your gifts are. What is it? Is it a technical gift that you have, a managerial gift that you have, or the leadership gift that you have? What is it that you have? You have to know what you have, what your life has, what you have the temperament for, what your life has. Because all of us, all the things that we have been through all our lives, they have shaped us. They brought us some kind of asset. You just have to know what you have. And then you build from there than trying to become that which you don't have. So you can build, everyone has something that you can build. Maybe you're a mechanic, you know how to repair the cars, but you don't know how to manage the mechanic business. So every boy that you pick, they come 2 weeks, they go. So you work alone. You say that now these boys, they are lazy, they don't want to work. It's not because the boys are lazy. You don't know how to manage the people. And somebody else is also a good manager, but he's so much afraid to take the risk for the business to grow. You need a leader like that, so you have to know how you can move an idea to a product, into a business based on your expertise. So the expertise that you have, you have to be aware, this is the expertise that I have. Now, this is the idea that I have. This is what I want to do. I want to build a city. You're thinking, I want to build a city. Meanwhile, you have never built a city before. You don't know how to mold blocks. You don't know how to construct road. It means that you have some kind of leadership in you. You can conceptualize, you can think, you can dream, you can envision. Okay, now you need somebody who can build the road. You need somebody who can understand the finances. That's how you start to connect. You need people who can manage the flow. But somebody else may also just be a technical person. Say that me, I can build a house. He has no clue how to get the money and how to develop the market. So every one of us has something, and based on that, you can generate ideas. And if you can generate ideas from those, you can connect them. And if you can connect them, you can connect people alongside. You just have to know what you have. And once you can connect people, that idea can become a product. And hopefully that product can become a business. So if you don't know it, just ask. And if you believe that you know everything, you may not necessarily know everything. Somebody knows something that you don't know. And so look at that. So as I am wrapping up, I'm talking about how to move the idea to a product and to a business based on what you have as what your expertise is. And I said that everybody has an expertise because everybody spends time. So whatever that you are spending your time in, anything that you have spent about 10 years doing, you have some kind of expertise in it. Even if it's watching football. For 10 years, you have some kind of expertise. So whatever that you have expertise in, you can get an idea from there. A product can be formed from there. And a business can be founded out of that. You just have to know, this is what I know. So maybe I'm a technical person. Maybe I'm a managerial person. I can manage a project. I can manage the concept. I can manage this. I can manage that. Or maybe I have leadership. I can envision. I can think. I have the courage to take the risk. I can dare. I can handle the controversy. I can bring people together. Whatever that you have, every bit is needed for the idea to move to a product and to move into a business. So you have to know. You have to know. And there are people that you may have to talk to, and you may have to go knowing that, listen, this is how it takes to move an idea into a product, into a business, so that you don't become one of those guys who's always talking about how he wants to start a business. He's talking every day, I want to start a business, I want to start a business. Yet he's not starting because he's not identified what he has expertise in. He's not identified that he will need other people connected for that idea to become a business. He's not known that. So that idea will die with him. And a lot of people will go with those ideas. Because you don't need to be a master of everything. Just need how it is connected. And that simple idea can explode. If you don't know it, go and talk to all those guys who are doing those big businesses. He sits there, he thinks of something, the next minute he picks his phone, he calls another one. That person starts to develop the idea into another stage. The next person, they are connecting with another one. The next moment you hear they are connected. The next moment you see them with a website. The next moment you see them shipping the product. The next moment you see them with an office. It's just not one person trying to do everything. We are the only people. Even if they are not partners, just get somebody who has that, maybe part-time employee, something. And the idea can easily gather the momentum to become a product. And then possibly a business can be built. Because all these are human. So if your idea has been with you for all these years, and you're just talking, is because you are keeping it. The moment you start to get the right connection from another force, from another human, who has the right, because you have to know what you are bringing on board. Is it the technical? Is it the managerial? Is it the leadership that you are providing? So that which you don't have, you connect with that. And then you see that idea that you've been talking, you meet this guy with the relevant connection, the next minute there's a force. The next minute it becomes a business. The next minute you see that it's moving everywhere. All right. So that's how I think it can easily be done like that. So you don't go to look for people who have the same kind of thing that you have. Then it's not going to move. Then it's not going to move. It's not going to move. So thank you. Or the idea you will struggle, you struggle, you struggle, you struggle. The idea will stay with you till you die. It will never become a product. Or maybe you have formed a product, it's there, but nobody knows the product, nobody's buying it. It's not benefiting anybody. You're struggling, you're complaining because you think you know. But if the thing has been with you for 10 years, it means that there's something about it that you don't know. And that thing that you don't know, somebody else knows. So that's how you move an idea to a product and to a business based on the expertise that you have. Because once you identify your expertise, another person may have the other expertise. And I said that the expertise, what I know, the technical expertise, that which produces, that can move the idea. How do you develop the idea can be, from a specific technical field. Maybe you'll be able to build that technical field into a product. And somebody must be able to manage all the processes, the links. And another person may be able to provide the courage, the vision, the connection, the risk. If you have all the three in you, fantastic. But those people are very rare. They're very rare. A lot of people don't have all the three. Most people have one or two. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you.